Okay, here we go. Chapter 8, Section 1. First term we need to put down is what's called a monomial. Monomial is a product. It's got to be a multiplication problem of variables and numbers. It could be just one variable in some circumstances. So it's got to be a product multiplication problem. A couple examples. Just the number x, or I'm sorry, just the letter x. That is a monomial. Xy squared. Again, product. 2xy, product. Even just the number 4, or any number for that matter, is a monomial. But if you see something with a plus sign in it, that's not a monomial. That's why I have an x through that. So monomials have to be the multiplication of variables or numbers and variables. I jumped the gun here in this one, so go to polynomial next. Polynomial is a sum, adding, or difference, subtracting, of monomials. A couple examples. X plus 2, got an addition problem going on. X squared plus 3x minus 4, got a combination. But again, there's plus signs and minus signs in between these. That's the key ingredient. All right, now jump back. A binomial then is a two-term polynomial. So it's either a plus sign or a minus sign in between them. Example right here. This is a binomial. So then what's this going to be called? If you would guess 3 terms, it's called a trinomial. That is a 3-term polynomial. It's called a trinomial. This is just one example. There's lots of different ones we could have. But you again see plus sign, minus sign in between them. Polynomials, these are monomials, multiplication, or nothing at all. Okay, next, the degree of a monomial. So we're going to look at these things, and there is a certain degree that they have, and they're figured out by doing this. You're going to add up all the powers of that particular monomial. So the number 4 has no variables with it, so it has a degree of 0. X, it is a variable, has a power of 1. We just don't have to write it all the time, so we say it has a degree of 1. Now look at this one. Here's a product. This is a monomial. This has an exponent of 1, exponent of 2, so that would be a degree of 3, adding up all the powers of that monomial. Maybe even you want to put the word variable in here. Think variables only. So we'll go to this one. 4ab squared c. 4 is not a variable, so it doesn't count. Variable, exponent 1. Variable, exponent 2. Variable, exponent 1. So that gives us a degree of 4. So the degree of a monomial, I take the powers on the variables and add them up. Next, the degree of a polynomial. The degree of a polynomial is now we're going to use the degree of the highest, H-I-G-H, term. So I'm not going through and adding a bunch of things up. I look at each term individually and then do what I did here. Case in point. Got a bunch of them here, so let's just follow this one here first. This is a 2-term binomial. This term has a degree of 1. No variable. This has no, I do not add anything up. I just take the highest one and use it. So my degree is 1 right here. Look at this one. Now it's a trinomial. So I look at each one individually. That has a degree of 2. That has a degree of 1. No degree because no variable. I do not add these up. I take the highest degree, which is 2, and that's what I have. Looking at this one. 1, 2, okay, 3 terms again. I go individually to each term, so I go to here, power of 2, power of 1, total 3. Power of 1, power of 1, power of 1, total 3. Power of 3, power of 4, total 7. So the degree of this polynomial is 7, the highest monomial degree in there. Okay, a couple more terms. First off, we have linear term. Right there. Linear term is anything raised to the first power. So x, y, 4x, 3y, anything raised to the first power. Quadratic term is our next one. That's anything raised to the second power, anything squared, 4y squared, quadratic. Negative 3x to the fourth, not a quadratic because it's to the fourth power. It's got to be to the second power only. Anything raised to the second power is called quadratic. Anything raised to the first power is called linear. Two new vocabs we got to have. Example. Now, is it a polynomial? What type is it, and what's its degree? All right, so I give you the letter y. Yes, it's a polynomial. It's a monomial to be exact, and it is a degree of 1, the exponent. Next, I will give you the following. I'll give you a negative 3y squared minus 2y plus 4y, excuse me, minus 1. Before we get real crazy here, if they're like terms, combine them. They are, so let's do that. So we have 3y squared plus 2y plus 1. So yes, this is a polynomial. It is a trinomial to be exact. It has a degree of 2. Highest one right there. Quadratic term, linear term. Just for some extra review. Okay, look at this next one now. This next one is not a polynomial. People will be confused at first, and they'll look at that and they'll say, well, wait a minute, there's a multiplication. Understand what a negative exponent means. That goes down to the denominator, which makes this not a product, but a division problem. By definition, that's not what a monomial is, or anyway, a polynomial for that matter. So we can't have those variables in the denominator, not a polynomial. All right, bear with me now a little bit more. Standard form. Standard form means we're going to put the terms in order from greatest power to the least power, or smallest power. So if I gave you something along these lines, so I look at this problem, I want to put it in standard form. So I look at powers, power of 1, power of 2, power of 5, power of 3. Obviously, that's the biggest one, so that's what's going to go first. So in standard form, and everything goes with it, negative 3x to the fifth. Signs go with them. Second, first, third, so that's coming in next. Plus 4x cubed. Next, plus 4x squared. And then finally, minus x. So that's what's considered standard form. And then the leading coefficient is what's the first coefficient when you're in standard form. So that'd be called the leading coefficient. Get these down so we can get a good base here for this chapter.